Hello and welcome to the preview of the 1991 Formula One World Championship, brought to you by Microprose and GP2Joey. Last season was one of the most exciting in the history of the sport and saw the much anticipated marriage of Ayrton Senna and Ferrari blossom to its full potential, with the Brazilian taking his second World Championship in his first year for the team and subsequently ending a drought of 11 seasons since the driver's title was last won for the Scuderia way back in 1979 when Jody Scheckter took the honours that year. 1990 also saw the team secure their first Constructors' Championship since 1983, and there is much to suggest it could be their first of many more to come. 1991 promises to be one of the most exhilarating seasons of all time, and with the teams having run all their latest cars and with the winter testing now finished, the Formula One circus is primed and ready for action as they prepare for the first of 16 races, opening with the return to the former home of the American Grand Prix of Watkins Glen, which is replacing Road America this year. Although the deal is for 1991 only, it is expected that if the event is a success, it could well become a regular feature. We then head to Senna's home track of Interlagos in Brazil, where the passionate Brazilians will be cheering their hero around the old 4.8-mile super fast layout as the political rows continue over whether the circuit will eventually be shortened, as has been promised for some years. We then make our first trip into Europe for the San Marino Grand Prix before their habitual trip to Monaco, where there's no room for error around the tight and twisty streets of Monte Carlo. Canada is next up for round 5 and the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, and then it's down to Mexico City for round 6 before heading back to Europe in July for the French Grand Prix at the new Magny-Cours circuit, the event having moved from Paul Ricard. Round 8 sees a visit to the revamped Silverstone, which has been slowed in the interests of safety, and from the looks of it, the new layout promises to be a real driver favourite, and there are sure to be plenty of fans on hand to shout for the likes of Nigel Mansell, Joey Davies, Martin Brundle, and the rest of the British drivers. Germany is next up before heading over the Iron Curtain to Hungary for round 10, and then it's the majestic Belgian circuit of Spa-Francorchamps for round 11. Round 12 is the fastest, most exciting circuit of them all, the flat-out chicaneless Monza in Italy, where nothing other than a Ferrari victory will suffice for the delirious Tifosi, who will be cheering their beloved red cars from the moment the sun rises on the race weekend until the sun sets after the race, or until both cars have retired. Portugal is round 13 before we head over to Spain and the new circuit just outside Barcelona for round 14 at the Circuit de Catalunya. With Kyalami having gone through its redevelopment, the South African Grand Prix has been delayed a year, so the final 2 races will be in Japan and Australia at the famous tracks of Suzuka and Adelaide, which again will be the curtain closer in a year that will see Formula One going to 14 different countries across 4 continents over the course of 8 months. It promises to be an absolute cracker of a season, so let's take a look at the teams and drivers gearing up for another year of intense and exciting racing. Last year was not to put too fine a point on it, an outstanding one for Ferrari. Having signed Ayrton Senna away from McLaren at the end of '89, the pressure was on for both parties to deliver success at the first time of asking, and the Brazilian duly took his first title for the team at Jerez in mid-October, whilst the team claimed the Constructors' title in the final race. Former IndyCar star Michael Andretti has replaced Gerhard Berger, and there is much to suggest that the son of 1978 world champion Mario Andretti could well win a few races in his debut F1 season. Over the winter, the team seem to have kept their position at the head of the field, and providing they have overcome a few reliability concerns with the all-new 642 chassis and screaming V12 engines, there is little doubt there will be yet more successes in 1991. Tyrrell have managed to get a supply of former McLaren-Honda engines, which, although over a year old, are expected to give the team a decent crack at scoring the occasional point. Satoru Nakajima and Stefano Modena are a solid driver pairing, and the hope is for an improvement on their tally of 8 points last year. Williams have performed well during winter testing, and with new signing Jean Alesi having replaced McLaren-bound Joey Davies, hope is that there will be less destabilisation within the team, and much is expected from the young Frenchman, whilst Nigel Mansell will be hoping to be challenging for wins at every race as he enters the final year of his contract. The new FW14 car has been fast over the winter, if a little fragile, and there is some concern over its early reliability, but the team remain confident that this could well be the year they mount a championship challenge to Ferrari and McLaren. With new engine partner Yamaha on board, Brabham will be hoping to get out of pre-qualifying as quickly as possible, and winter testing suggests this could be on the cards. Damon Hill, son of former double world champion Graham, makes his debut in F1 this year, alongside the ever-reliable Mark Blundell, and hope is that there will be the occasional decent results from the talented Brits, providing the overall package can keep up with the development of their nearest rivals. Arrows have been rebranded as Footwork, courtesy of the lead sponsor buying a large stake in Jackie Oliver's team, and initial testing seems to suggest the squad have regained much of the ground they lost over the course of last year, when they faded spectacularly from the top to finish only 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Johnny Herbert and Martin Brundle stay on for another year, and we'll be hoping mistakes of last year have been eradicated in what could very much be a make or break year of racing for all concerned in the project. Lotus have lost the financial backing of Camel cigarettes and have undoubtedly gone backwards over the past few years, and there is nothing to suggest 1991 will be anything other than a struggle for the talented Mika Häkkinen and Northern Ireland's Martin Donnelly. Formerly known as Osella, Fondmetal management look to be struggling with their new car, and there is much to suspect that for drivers Olivier Grillard and Oscar Larari, 1991 could be a year of struggling to make it out of Friday morning's pre-qualifying session. Dwindling finances and fortunes have seen Leyton House continue to slide down the order, and not much in terms of results is expected from Robin Hurd's team, despite the talented pairing of Maurizio Gugelmin and Ivan Capelli. Ilmor are giving them year-old power units, but the fear is that winter testing is an indicator of speed. The team will be in serious trouble this season. AGS start the year in pre-qualifying, but hope remains high that the talented Gabriele Tarquini will not be left alone to battle on behalf of the team, with the consistently inconsistent Yannick Dalmas signed for another year as his teammate. Chances are low, but stranger things have happened. Benetton had a troubled 1990, finishing 5th in the constructors' standings and losing the talents of Alessandro Nannini, who was gravely injured in a helicopter accident before the Japanese Grand Prix. With Nelson Piquet joining as unquestioned #1 driver and the experienced and reliable Derek Warwick alongside, hope is high that the team will be able to enjoy a successful 91 campaign, and winter testing suggests they have gained much on the front-running teams. 1990 was a year of recovery for BMS Dallara, and this year looks set to be their best for some time, with the winter testing suggesting decent lap times, with the talented JJ Leto and Emanuele Pirro looking in decent form. For Italy's second most popular team, 1991 could be a good year for Minardi, with a year-old Ferrari engines in the back of the cars. In Pierluigi Martini and Gianni Morbidelli, hope is high for some decent results, and although the team start the year in pre-qualifying, it is expected that they will soon be among the regular race qualifiers, probably from the 5th round onwards. Tying up with Porsche promised much in 1990, but ultimately, for Ligier and their engine partner, they both failed spectacularly to deliver, and there is not much hope for better at the start of this season. Thierry Boutsen and Eric Comas are an unspectacular driver lineup at best, and there is concern this could be a difficult year for the French national team. McLaren had a poor 1990 by their standards, despite finishing behind Ferrari and Senna in the Constructors' Championship. Team stalwart and 4-time world champion Alain Prost endured a season from hell with many car failures, and the Frenchman will be praying the new McLaren MP46 and Honda V12 engine will enable him to fight for the title once more. Nelson Piquet is gone, and the Brazilian is replaced by Joey Davies, Britain's young hope, who joins the team after 2 turbulent years at Williams. Much is expected of the 26-year-old 6-time Grand Prix winner, and confidence is high that a possible assault on the title could be on the cards for him, providing he can keep himself out of trouble and in the good books of team boss Ron Dennis. Honda are entering the final year of their extended deal with the team, and there still remains uncertainty over their future in the sport, so 1991 will need to be a very successful one for all concerned at McLaren if they're to keep their Japanese partner in the sport. Winter testing has been relatively quiet for Larrousse, and the Lola chassis has been quoted by the drivers as being very difficult to set up. The team start the year outside pre-qualifying, but there remains the very real chance that for drivers Eric Bernard and Aguri Suzuki, it could be an ongoing battle till the final race weekend of the year to stay out of it. Defending Formula 3000 champions Jordan make the step up to Grand Prix racing in 1991, and although their car is without doubt one of the most beautiful ever created, hope will be for a respectability to match. Funding, of course, has been critical for the team to get off the ground, highlighted by the signings of Andrea De Cesaris and Bertrand Gachot, both who bring Marlboro money and other commercial deals to the table. Practically the Lamborghini Works team, not much is expected from newcomers Modena, who were late in bringing their car into winter testing, and a limited budget suggests time may be against drivers Roberto Moreno and Eric van der Poel, the F1 debutant, to get the team sorted enough to get out of pre-qualifying. 1990 saw Joest enjoy a respectable first year in Formula 1 despite failing to score a point after repetitive issues with their car and engine reliability. The popular Gerhard Berger and Riccardo Patrese have both signed 2-year big money deals as the team aims to get into the top 6, and winter testing form suggests this could very well be on the cards. Perhaps Joest are the darkest of horses to keep an eye on this year. Not much is expected from Coloni, who continue to defy all logic by keeping racing. The ridiculously slow Subaru engines are replaced by the reliable Cosworth DFRs, and although the late signing of veteran Michele Alboreto as partner to Pedro Chaves, the team are not expected to set any part of the F1 world alight. So, those are your drivers and teams for what is undoubtedly going to be a year of intrigue, excitement and fantastic racing, and we hope you're all looking forward to it as much as we are. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in America for the first round of the 1991 Formula 1 World Championship.